record on this one. Okay, let's talk about this one. What do you meant by a package? So as I told you, the package name should start with the all the small letters. Now, for an example, I'll take that QA box org. Now, what I should I need to keep the name for this one, QA box org. So now, what the name I should keep it for the package? Then it start with the org, org dot QA box. Okay, dot demo. So always a package names will start like this, and the package name should be smaller, and this is what the standards we need to use it by. Before this, what do you meant by a package? Package is nothing but, for an example, it's a grouping of a respective files. Now I'll say that I'm going for a devotional trip. So in the devotional trip, I'll go to some traditional places like Madurai, I'll go to Tirumala, and I'll go to Kalahastri, and I'll go to Kanipakam. This is what my traditional trip or devotional trip. And here I will have my all my respective cabs booked, hotels booked, and all this is what a package. Now, when I booked for a holiday spot or a holiday, actually, like means for an example, going for a bachelor trip. So when I was going for a bachelor trip, I'll go for Goa, and then I'll have my car bookings and hotel bookings, and everything was booked off. So based upon the respective things, it will have grouped up. See, now when I going for a devotional trip, it was going for Madurai, Tirumala, and these things. And when I was going for a bachelor trip, it was going for Goa and then other places. That means, so it was trying to group up some things. The same way, the package also will help us to group the similar kinds of file or a similar type of items. So that is called a package. Now we are creating the Java package. By seeing this one itself, the people can easily understand whether we do have the experience or not, because these are the simplest things we should know about this. Now I created a particular package. Now my package is org qa box demo. Now this is now the package, right? So now on the right clicking of your package, you are going to create a class. So when you are creating a class, always the class name should start with the capital letter. So now this is dummy mummy. So this is the capital, means if you see here, this is capital and this is capital. And when you're joining some words, you try to use the underscores. The spaces will not accepted by Java. And then you wanted to add this one, you can add the main method. I'll explain you why main method is public static void main, and then what are the parameters we are passing. So not now, I'll explain in the later phase. So now I finished this one. So by seeing this one, I can understand that, okay, this is what my project, and this is what my default source, and this is what my package, and this is what my class file. If you see here, always the class file and the file name would be same. So we have to be so cautious in this particular thing, and hope you guys know the differences between, means once we creating the class .java file. So how, means who is going to convert the Java file into the class file, and from the class file it will convert into means class file is nothing but our bytecode, and from the bytecode it will go to the low level machine language. So have you gone through that particular concepts? What is a compiler? What is a JVM? What is JRE? What is JDK? So these differences have you discussed?
No.
Okay, just note down those things. So means tomorrow you need to let us know what is JRE, JDK, and JVM for all. So Pravanya, I think you have been attended for those sessions, right?
Yes, Krish.
Yes, please make sure that try to explain these particular pointers to our team members. Okay, now, so here, when it comes to, means we have been created a package, and we have been create, means first we have been created a project, and we created the package, and then we created the class. Guys, if you see here, whenever you're creating a project, so by default, your JRE will create all your libraries. These are the most essential libraries. With this one only, you can execute your program. So GRE will help you to execute, means it will provide you the runtime environment. So that's the reason, as soon as you create a Java means project, by default, you'll be having all these particular jar files first created. Now jar files created, I have by default, see for an example, if I created a new Java project, you see here. So the Java project, I'm creating it. Mm, dummy project. See, now as soon as you created a project, it creates default source and then it creates the JRE. So it will have created all. And what is a version you have been installed, that we can get it over here. So that's how the project would be created. So once the project created, we'll take the source and create the packages and create the class files. The project name should be capital letter, package all names should be small, and then whatever the class name it should be having, this small means capital letter which is followed with this one. And even in each dummy, and then whenever you are declaring the particular variables, the variables should be, means for an example, it is an int. So int row count. So then I'm declaring that, and I can define in the same line also. So this is how I'll be defining, declaring and assigning the value. And okay, anyways, I'll talk about this one, equal to, double equal to differences, that I'll talk tomorrow. So because I need to give the time for you, and then I'll ask you. And then as usual, then sysout syso control space bar, it gives you this, and you wanted to give my value, and after that one, if you give the, this is a concatenator operator, because anyways you'll be learning all this one now next. So just I was trying to show it to you. So this is how your variable should be declared. All clear? And
Yes.
whatever the things you wanted to execute, so that you need to keep it into the main method. So by the main method only you can call these things and then you can execute it. Okay, so now we
Okay.
discussed what is a project, means how to create the project, and once we created the project, what JRE will be created, why JRE will be created tomorrow, as we discussing the differences between the JRE, JDK, JVM and the compiler, where we will understand about this one. And then how we created the source, and then this particular packages and the class name and the variables. So this is how we need to create the project. So now you have been created all these variables, just quickly change these particular variables tomorrow. Moving further, whatever the things you are creating it, try to follow the standards,
Okay.
because if you practice from now, it would be much more easier, rather than at the same point, at one point you wanted to improve it, it will be not having the problem. So just you need to do this one. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. Thanks, Rajalakshmi. So who else wanted to share? So Pravanya, you wanted to share the screen? I know, Priya, I think you know about all these things, but just it would be a recap for you, and even for you, Samudrita. So you guys have already working about this. So you may not require all these things, but it's as means if you are learning from the basics, it would be always good. So you need to just stay for some more time so that you can learn multiple things. Okay.